Hi everyone, this is Elaiza Balansag from BSH from 3B, and now let's tackle about the legal aspect on tourism and hospitality, the Philippine Tourism Law, the Chapter 16, formalities of entry in and exit from the Philippines. So for the learning objectives, identify various government requirements for foreigners to enter the Philippines. Explain the importance of a valid passport when traveling. Third, enumerate the privilege of Filipinos covered with the Balikbayan program. Fourth, discuss the dual citizenship law. The entry and admission of foreigners into the Philippines are matters of privilege because every foreign state has absolute and exclusive power of governing its own territory. Although entitled to all of the rights and privilege of a friendly guest, they cannot claim the right to enjoy privileges which they their nature belong exclusively to the host. Admission requirements. So for the admission requirements, the non-immigrants must present an expired passport and valid visas prior to their admissions into the Philippines. The Philippine Immigration Act provides 7 visa categories for non-immigrants, namely first, the temporary visitor, second, the transient, third, the seaman, fourth, the trader or treaty investor, fifth is for the foreign government official, sixth is a student, and last is the pre-arranged employment. Admission for aliens under pre-arranged employment. This is wish to engage in gainful employment in the Philippines. Pre-arranged employment visas are secured from the Philippines Consular Office upon authorization issued by the Commissioner of Immigration. For balikbayan shall mean a Filipino citizen who has been continuously out of the Philippines for a period of at least 1 year, a Filipino overseas worker for a former Filipino citizen and his family who had been naturalized in a foreign country and comes or returns to the Philippines. For the Philippine immigration policy on Indians, this is a temporary visitor visas are available to Indian national provided. So first is they applied for a visa from their country of origin or from their place of legal or permanent residence if they are no longer permanently residing in India. For the lifting immigration restriction on South Africans, so like on October 8, 1993, the UN General Assembly lifted all economic sanction imposed against South Africa in the areas of trade, investment, finance, travel, and transportation. So, passport requirements is defined as an official document of identity and nationality issued to a person intending to travel or in foreign countries. So it is the property of the government of the issuing authority. Also, this is not a private property of the person to whom it has been issued. So there are 3 types of passport, namely first we have diplomatic passport. So these are issued for person imbued with the diplomatic status or any diplomatic mission such as president and former presidents to the Republic of the Philippines. So like for example, the vice president of the and former vice president of the Republic of the Philippines, Senate President and Speaker of the House of Representatives, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, so like they also have the Department of Foreign Affairs, the ambassadors, the foreign service officers of all ranks in the career diplomatic service attached, and members of their families. Second, we have the official passport. So this is issued to all government officials and employees on official trip abroad but who are not on a diplomatic mission or delegates to international or regional conference or has not been accorded diplomatic status such as the undersecretaries and assistant secretaries. So we have lastly here is regular passports. So this is issued to private person who are not eligible to diplomatic or official passport. So this includes the government officials or employees going abroad for pleasure or other personal reason. For the treaty trader or treaty investor, so this is where the foreigner who is entering the Philippines solely to carry on substance, trade, or commerce between the Philippines and the country of which he is a national pursuant to an existing treaty of commerce and navigation. For the Subic Special Investors visa under RA 7227, the foreign nationals not categorized as restricted as determined by the Department of Foreign Affairs Visiting the Subic Freeport Zone for business and tourism purposes may be allowed to enter all ports of entry of the zone and stay therein without a visa for a maximum period of 14 days. So they are provided also that upon arrival, they present their passports, certificate of identity, or travel documents valid for at least 6 months beyond the intended stay in the zone and confirm onward flight tickets. For the investors in tourist-related project or tourist establishment under Executive Order Number 63, the investor or his wife and unmarried minor children shall be permitted to enter and reside in the Philippines as special investor residents for as long as the investment of $500 subsists. So they need to provide that they have not been convicted of a crime involving moral turpitude, or they are not afflicted with any loathsome, contagious, or dangerous disease, and they have not been intended for any mental disorder or disability, and provided further that said investor visit the country at least twice a year and stays in the country at least 7 days for each visit. For the extension of stay, in the case of non-immigrant visa holders who stay in the Philippines will exceed 59 days, the consular officer shall advise them that they should secure extensions of stay and register with the Bureau of Immigration and pay the necessary immigration fees. For the exclusion of foreigners, the international law affords states absolute discretion to determine whether or not an alien is disqualified for entry into its territory. As a general rule, an alien's fitness for entry depends on whether he or she possesses a risk to the general welfare. For the deportation and expulsion of a foreigner from the territory of a state, it contemplates a foreigner who initially gained legal entry, admission of residence in a country, but whose presence therein has become untenable because of some serious infraction of the municipal law of such country. So under Section 6 of the Philippines Immigration Act of 1940, immigration officers may detain aliens on board the vessel conveying them into the Philippines. The detention shall be for a sufficient period of time to enable the immigration officers to determine whether, first, the aliens concerned belong to any of the excludable classes in Section 29, or the aliens concerned may apply to qualify for waivers for their exclusion from the Commissioner of Immigration. In the event the aliens are excludable, the vessel conveying them shall answer for their transportation charges. So under Section 28, government, medical, and quarantine officers are also allowed to observe, examine, and determine whether or not arriving aliens are afflicted with any of the disease or mental or physical defects or disabilities that render them unfit for entry or admission into the Philippines. For the exit requirements, so no foreigners shall depart from the Philippines except at the port of departure and unless there has been issued a valid immigration clearance certificate or a certificate of exemption in his favor. So we have here the Republic Act number 9225, the dual citizenship law. So this is who became citizens of another country shall be deemed not to have lost their Philippine citizenship. So former natural-born citizens living abroad may file the petition to the nearest Philippine Foreign Post. So a copy of the birth certificate authenticated by the National Statistic Office is required to be submitted as proof of being a natural-born citizen of the Philippines. So that would be all. Thank you so much for listening, and God bless us all.